That's his daughter. Amy Claire.
Amy Claire. Named her after AC. My daughter after passed out. Amen. Yes, that's what you're Yeah, that's why we named her after him. That's why we did that.
Well, they're not in here to hear this song, so I'll say it and then they won't get all puffed up about it. Thanks to James while part of you are in here. Thanks to James and the gang James gang for the mini session and the new songs. Appreciate you guys. So you want to start with your songs? Why not?
Okay. Where are they? I don't know how they go.
Terry, you didn't get the keys then.
Here's one. Thanks. Mine was just on a sheet here. It's got the words and the chords. Everybody got that? You don't have a sheet that has words and the chords. It's got Psalm 23, Rejoice, I will rejoice.
Lord, you are my shepherd. I shall not want. You make me to lie down in green pastures. You lead me beside the still waters. You restore my soul. Lead me in the paths of your ways. And though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear, I will not fear. Lord, I will not fear. And though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear, I will not fear. For Jesus, you are here. Alright, let's try it. Lord, you are my shepherd. Lord, you are my shepherd. I shall not want. You made me to lie down in green pastures. You lead me beside still waters. You restore my soul and lead me in the paths of your ways. And though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear, I will not fear. Lord, I will not fear. And though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear, I will not fear. For Jesus, you are here.
Okay, we'll run it through one more time so that we know it really good, okay? Here we go. Lord, you are my shepherd.
Lord, you are my shepherd. I shall not want. You make me to lie down in green pastures. You lead me beside the still waters. You restore my soul and lead me in the paths of your ways. And though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear, I will not fear. Lord, I will not fear. And though I walk through the valley joyful in their King. Rejoice, we will rejoice in our Maker. Let everybody sing. Oh, holy, righteous, glory to the Lamb. Behold, let everything that has breath exalt the great I am. All right, let's give it a try. Rejoice, rejoice. Let all the children of Zion be joyful in their King. Rejoice, we will rejoice in our Maker. Let everybody sing. Oh, holy, righteous, glory to the Lamb. Behold, let everything that has breath exalt the great I am. Let's sing it again. Rejoice, rejoice. Let all the children of Zion be joyful in their King. Rejoice, we will rejoice in our Maker. Let everybody sing. Oh, holy, righteous, glory to the Lamb. Behold, let everything that has breath exalt the great I am. Let's do oh, holy, righteous. Holy, righteous, glory to the Lamb. Behold, let everything that has breath exalt the great I am. Behold, behold, let everything that has breath exalt the great I am. Is that happy or what? It's just so happy. I know you can do all things. You have been faithful and true. You are my mighty God and King. I will not fear what man can do. When no fruit is on the vine, I will trust in you. I will trust in you. This life is no longer mine. I will trust in you. I will trust in you. Let's all sing it together. I know you can do all things. I know you can do all things. You have been faithful and true. You are my mighty God and King. I will not fear what man can do. trust in you.
God is so cool.
If the one before this was happy, then that one was Birdie. That's a great song. Okay, let's do In the Presence. These are the lead sheet ones that we have.
Toss the rest of this.
Okay, we have to do my 6/8 now, since we did your 6/8. Sing to the Lord. Kevin and I wrote the same song at the same time without knowing it. Now, the DC down at the bottom of Sing to the Lord means Del Capo, which is back to the top or up the top. And then Fine right there at the end of the second line, that's where the song actually ends. Obviously, it can't end on Let Everything That Has Breath, because it just doesn't feel like the end of the song.
Okay, let's go home.
Yeah. All right, let's close with prayer. I wait for you. I wait for you patiently, Lord, resting upon your word that reminds me of your love and your faithfulness. I watch for you patiently, Lord, longing for your resting upon your word that reminds me of your love and your faithfulness. I watch for you patiently, Lord, longing for your return and waiting for the day when you will come for me. You'll come for me, Lord. I wait for you patiently, Lord, resting upon your word that reminds me of your love and your faithfulness. I watch for you patiently, Lord, longing for your return and waiting for the day when you will come for me. You'll come for me, Lord. Let's do it once again. I wait for you patiently, Lord, resting upon your word that reminds me of your love and your faithfulness. I watch for you patiently, Lord, longing for your return and waiting for the day when you will come for me. You'll come for me, Lord. Let's pray. Lord, that is the stance of our hearts. Chapter 22 today, before we go to a dessert break. I said dessert break because I want you to stay with me. You know, there is something coming here, you know, to kind of charge you back up again. now that you're kind of feeling the drop of oxygen. You guys, the one that's being passed around, and if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, you don't. It's just kind of the way it is.
And you won't get it.
For those of you that are watching out there in the television audience, I understand that Mick was supposed to be with us today, and apparently he didn't hear from God and didn't come. So Mick, you know, what can I say, bro? Repent. You know?
And Duane, you give me about 3 minutes, I'll take this next song, so we can get it on something.
Oh, okay. And sing. I'll just play through it a couple of times, and then I'll answer any chord questions about it. We'll just kind of take it like that. How's that? Each one of these songs we'll just kind of go through a couple of times, and then we'll stop and we'll deal with the chord questions that have come up along the way, and fingering questions, and you know, frustrations that you need to vent on me because there's some chord that you can't play or something like that. You know? Stand never alone. We're the army of our God and King. Together we'll face anything. It's worth it all. So take my hand and sing. We are in the battle for the sake of the throne. Arm in arm. Stand never alone. We're the army of our God and King. Together we'll face anything. It's worth it all. So take my hand and sing. One more time. We are in the battle for the sake of the throne. Arm in arm. Stand never alone. We're the army of our God and King. Together we'll face anything. It's worth it all. So take my hand and sing. We're the army of our God and King. And together we'll face anything. It's worth it all. So take my hand and sing. Rock and roll. I noticed the amp was up to about 3, maybe. No.
Do you have additional music there?
Pardon me?
Do you have other songs? Take My Hand and Sing.
That was Take My Hand and Sing, and then what we're going to do is go through the songs that we did in the song section and talk through those chords. So if you got those things with you, we'll do that too. Any questions about chords on this song that we just went through? There's a few humdingers in there. Does everybody know them? Sure. G looks like this. Okay. Actually, I play my G. You'll see me do this through the day, and whenever you watch me play, I don't use 3 fingers on my G. I only use 2. It's kind of a lazy man's G, but I started doing it this way years ago, and I'm attached to it now. I deadened this A string, this 5th string down here with the fat of my ring finger, so it's not sounding, so I don't have to play it. What that does is it frees up one more finger to do something else with, you know. For example, C over or G over C is not right. That is supposed to be a C over G in the intro, and also in the last line of the song. The second chord that you see on the intro is supposed to be a C over G. I can't imagine who put that in the computer wrong. The second chord that's in the intro, you have a G, and then you have a G over C. That second thing right there, that whole thing, is supposed to be a C over G. That's a dyslexic function of my hands.
Scribal error.
Yeah, scribal error. Thank you very much for putting it so scripturally, you know. Right. So again, the same thing in the very last line. After the word sing, you see G over C again. That's supposed to be C over G. And it looks like this. If you're playing a G like this, you can just play a partial C chord in the middle of it like that. It's as though you had taken this C chord and put a G note on the bottom of it, just like that. I happen to have my little finger up here, which is neither here nor there for the C chord. It works both ways. So it just happens that I do it like this because I'm coming from a G chord. Here's the G chord. I'm just putting these two fingers down and it turns that into a C over G, which means, for those of you that don't know what that means, it means a C chord with a G bass. That's what those polychords mean when you see a note slash and another note. The top one is the chord, the bottom one is the bass note. So you got C over G like this. C over E is a real easy one. You play a C chord like this, right? Okay, you just want that open E note on the bottom. And what I do with that usually is I did the A string again. So it's like this. I've got my second finger bumped up against the A string there. So I'm only playing 5 strings. There's an E note, a dead A, okay, and the rest of the notes. Like that. Okay. D over F sharp. This is always a kind of a funny one for those that are not accustomed to being around me. But I play my D over F sharp like this. In this case, I'll have my little finger in there on that D note. Okay, I'm only playing 4 strings. I'm playing the F sharp on the E string. The A string is dead. I'm playing the D string open. Okay? Playing the G string, an A note on the G string, and I'm playing a D note, which is 3rd fret on the B string. So that's what you're hearing. I got the high E string dead. It's like I have extra fingers. I can't tell you how it happens, but I can deaden strings. They're not supposed to be sounding. So actually, this one up here is being deadened by the side of my hand. So my E string is not sounding. See? So that's my D over F sharp. You can do this if you want to. You can play your regular D chord, re-finger it, and reach over here and grab an F sharp. That just seems like a whole lot more nonsense to me. But that's actually, you know, the form of the chord. If that helps you to understand what we're doing, it's a D chord like this with this note, the F sharp note, 2nd fret on the low E string in the bass. You can use your thumb. I'll hate you forever, but you can use your thumb. It's just not the way that I teach people to play the guitar. I never teach people to play the guitar. It's not the way I would teach the chord, because I don't use my thumb. But if you want to use your thumb and it works, that's great. Yes.
I just wanted you to show me the way you do it again. I didn't catch it.
Okay. It looks like this. 1st finger on the F sharp, right here. 2nd fret, low E string. The D string is open. I've got my 2nd finger, in the 2nd fret of the G string, which makes it an A note. And then interchangeably, I'll have either my ring finger or my pinky on the 3rd fret on the B string, which is a D note. And that's the chord. More often than not, you'll see my pinky there. But I'll do this every once in a while.
You have the A string and the high E string dead.
The A string is right. The A string and the high E are dead. Correct. I like those 4-note chords. Can't tell you why, but I do. All right. D over G. D note. G in the bass. So you get a D chord. You want to put your little finger in here and reach across and grab that G. Now here's what you'll see me do a lot of times. Yeah, that's the way I do it. could also bar across with your, make like a D major 7. Only now you got to get the G back over here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Jazz chords, man. So anyway, it's a D chord with a G bass note. However you finger that to make it work. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. G over B is your normal G chord with only 5 strings. You got this B note in the bass. So if you play your G like this, just don't play this low E string. Just that's G over B. Okay. Does that basically cover all the chords? Everybody knows a B7. B7 sus. Play a B7 bar chord like this. I know some of you play it like this. Well, that can work. If you play a B7 like this, you just move this first finger here up into the 2nd fret, and you got a B7 sus. If you play your B7 like this, bar chord style, just move your pinky up 1 fret, and that's a B7 sus. A little bit of a stretch, but after years of pain, you'll get used to it. That's it. Okay, so there's a couple of options for a B7 sus. Okay, that song will be on a tape somewhere, right? If you get, pardon me?
Yes.
If you get one of the teaching tapes, is it like on one of those? Is that where it is?
Yes, there will be a total of 3 tapes. The music tape,
Uh-huh.
the tape with Kevin's teaching, and the tape that will have both of your teachings and that new letter of the song.
Cool.
3 total.
So, those of you that are getting tapes to take home, there's 3 tapes. One is the music tape with all the new song stuff that happened. Another is a tape with Kevin's teaching on it, and another one is a tape with both of my teachings and this song on it. Take my hand and sing. Okay. Shall we digress? The reason I said that is because we need to go through Kevin's songs, and I don't know these songs. You guys are going to have them on the tape. How about you just ask me any chord questions that you have for Kevin's songs, and I'll answer them, maybe. Let's start with Psalm 23. Everybody knows a D. An F sharp sus. Now, here's the way that I would teach that as a bar chord as an F sharp 7. But if you play an F sharp like this, which is like take an F chord, move it up a fret, it becomes an F sharp. Okay, everybody follow me? You want to play an F sharp? Play your F, move it up a fret. Now you got an F sharp. Move it up another fret, you got a G. Move it up another fret, you got a G sharp. Up another fret, you got an A. Isn't that cool the way that works? Wow, all you gotta do is know your alphabet. Okay, F sharp sus. Take your little pinky finger and put it right in here on the D string. G string, sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks. Alphabet, you know, it's real difficult for me. On the G string. Okay? If you want to do this as a bar chord, I was playing it, as Kevin was doing it a while ago, as an F sharp 7. And F sharp 7 sus and F sharp 7, which worked fine. Okay. B minor 7, most everybody knows a B minor 7. If you take an A minor 7, move it up 2 frets as a bar chord, you got a B minor 7. E minor 7 is almost the easiest chord in the whole world to play. If you'll take your regular E minor and just open up the D string. cake, man. And here's something that I do with this chord every once in a while. That D note that you've created with the open D string there, I'll play the octave above that on the B string in the 3rd fret. Now watch what happens here. The next chord, if we're reading through Kevin's Psalm 23 and we're on the 2nd line here where the E minor 7 appears over make, the A7 sus is the next chord. Look how simple it is now to get to the A7 sus. The sus is already there. You're playing the D note, okay? And now you just resolve it. I do that a lot with the E minor 7 because it makes that resolve real easy. All I gotta do is move one finger, you know. Some of you guys say, how do you play so many chords without ever moving your fingers? It's that kind of stuff that makes that possible. You know, just thinking through where your fingers are going to be placed in relationship to where they got to be next. You know, and it just kind of helps you, you know, have kind of a fluid motion, and also, you know, it takes out unnecessary movement. You know, you just don't have to go very far. If you just think through some things like this, it keeps you from having to move a lot. A over D is also called a D major 9 for anybody that cares. And if you just play an A chord like this, what you're going to do is just take part of that chord, you're going to leave the D string open, and it's going to look like this. That's an A over D. It's a D major 9. But A over D is a little easier to find, you know, because it's real graphic. You know, you can see it in your brain. You see D major 9 and you go, huh? You know, but you can see this. Okay. G over A, also called an A11, but Eddie doesn't want me to teach it to you that way, so it's a G over A. If you just play a G chord like this, remember how we did the F sharp? Now we got a G chord like this, and put an open A string at the bottom of it. Pretty chord. Really pretty chord. And everybody knows an A7. An A over G. Yeah. Looks like this. No, I played a G over A. Right, now we got to turn it around the other way. You got an A chord with this G note in the bass. What I usually do is like this. I'll play the A like this. Okay, for those of you that wonder what we're doing now, we're at A over G, and where is it? I can't even find it now. Shadow of Death. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th line. We just play an A chord and put a big old G note at the bottom of it. It's really pretty chords. Kevin Green chords. See, I have to like pass the blame on to somebody else every once in a while. And all be Duane Clark chords. Okay. You all know a G major 7, where you're looking at. It's like, well, you know, if you play it like this, I don't know if your fingers are accustomed to doing that. If you take that G chord that we showed you a while ago, now this high G note right here has got to become an F sharp. So you got to refinger everything else. The rest of the chord needs to stay there. And you got to put this note on top, so you need to use all 4 of your fingers. And it's finger calisthenics, you know.
What is this one again?
Okay, here's another way that I play that chord. Does everybody know a B minor like this? A bar chord? Okay. A B minor over G is a G major 7. So if you take this chord and you put that G note in the bass and only play 4 strings, so you got the A note, the A string, and the high E string dead. Some of you are looking at me like you're lost. You got a G major 7. I like this version of the chord better than I like this version. Because I can't play this version. You can do that if you want, yeah. I don't like the sound of this chord, but if you want to play it that way, you can play a G chord and just put that F sharp on the top. And that's a G major 7. If you want to lower yourself to that, you can play it that way. F sharp minor 7 is best dealt with probably as a bar chord like this. Moreover, I will not fear here. I think everybody probably knows the rest of those chords, huh? And I'm just going to let you run through these songs with the tape, and I'll learn them on the way home with Kevin, since we'll have 7 hours in the car together. God help us. Any more questions about the chords in Psalm 23?
I have a question.
Yes.
If you played an A major 9 instead of a A over G.
A major 9 instead of an A or a G?
Yeah. When you're on the guitar, you don't have to add a 7 and a 9, you just have to add a 9. You said they were the same thing.
I'm not sure where you're headed with this, Eddie.
No, I'm saying like, why didn't we have to add the 7 and the 9? Why didn't we just add the 9 with G?
I don't get it.
A over G is the same as A major 9.
No. It would be, you're thinking of D, I was talking about A over D being the same as D major 9.
Okay, I think that's good.
Okay. So is everything okay now, Eddie?
Yeah, just to make it easy.
Okay. Okay. Eddie and I have these theory discussions every once in a while. We sometimes miss each other, so you just have to forgive us. We'll get it together here in a minute. Shall we go through the chords for Rejoice? There's not really any major landmines in this one. This is all pretty self-explanatory. Okay, C is obvious. You can play a G over C. The way I do it is I play my C with my pinky up here on this G note. So it's like this. So to play a G over C now, all I have to do is take these 2 fingers out. C, play your F chord, but you got to put a C note at the bottom of it. Got your F chord like this. This C note, 3rd fret, A string, has got to be in the chord. So just move your ring finger over, one string, and grab the F note here with your pinky. Used to play this chord all the time. So here. My dad was a guitar player, although he wasn't playing very much when I was growing up. But he showed me this chord. Everybody clear on that one? I hear the mumble of voices. G sus is real easy. For me, especially because I play my G with only 2 fingers. So the sus note is this C note right here. So it's okay. All right. There's one trust in you. F minor 7 flat 5. I'm gonna teach this to you in a way that you'll never forget it. Play an A minor and put an F sharp in the bass. So you put this F sharp on the second fret of the E string here in the bass. So you got. So why didn't we call it A minor over F sharp? Because we just like to write cool looking things like F sharp minor 7 flat 5. Okay, so just play an A minor, put an F sharp on the bass. It's just that easy. Pretty chord too. For a pretty song. Okay. You want to hold it down over this? Oh, I'm sorry. Any more questions about Kevin Green chords? Okay. All three of those songs can be strummed. I think I Will Trust in You particularly would be really pretty as a finger-picked song, but it would work with a flat pick and just some strumming too. So you might just want to write that note down for yourself when you go through the song with the tape. You might try it both ways. The way that I'll be playing it on the tape is I'm finger picking it. So you might just want to try that, and then if that makes you want to blow me up or something, then just get your pick out and strum it. Okay. Let's do a finger picking thing and just really stretch you guys real good. Let's do I Wait for You. I need to look and see if I have C2. I showed this to somebody earlier today. It's really easy. C chord. Put this D note in with your pinky like this. Easy, huh? Okay, G2 over B. Here's the ticket. Leave that pinky where it is. Here's another one of those Duane Clarkisms. Move this down. Play 4 strings in the middle. You now have a G over B. It's kind of a hybrid form. It should be like this, but that D note fits because the G chord is spelled G-B-D, so there's a D note in the chord, so that works. Now, we've come from C2, like this, okay? Okay, I'm going down to G over B, and I'm going to add a 2, which is the 4th string, 2nd fret. Do it with your second finger. That's a G2 over B. And then it resolves to just a G over B. So we're looking at it like this. I do a little hammer on. Everybody try that. It's so pretty. Thank you, Gary. Okay. Now, I've got an A minor 7 and a D over F sharp for the next chords. You can just play those chords and it'll work fine. But I do a little melodic thing here. So I'm playing the A minor 7, playing the A minor 7, and doing this.
Jim. Thanks, Gary. Why not?
You don't have to do this. I'm just showing this to you as an option. Basketballs left. Smart away. So what was the final number? Did you end up doing the perfect 40? hear that on the tape, that's what I'm doing. It's really pretty with the song, but like I said, you don't have to do it. Okay, I'm going to run through it a couple times, then we're going to deal with tricky chords. Wait for you patiently, Lord, resting upon your word that reminds me of your love. There's a tricky one. And your faithfulness. I watch for you patiently, Lord, longing for your return and waiting for the day when you will come for me. You'll come for me, Lord. I wait for you patiently, Lord, resting upon your word that reminds me of your love and your faithfulness. I watch for you patiently, Lord, longing for your return and waiting for the day when you will come for me. You come for me, Lord. Sorry. Okay, you should have a D2 over F sharp on your page, the third line down, the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth column. So, third line, fifth column, you got a D2 over F sharp. Shows you how to do that. Shows you my D over F sharp somewhere on this page too. There it is, 1, 2, 3 columns over from that to the left. There's my famous D over F sharp. People all over Northern California hate me for that chord. Let's see, I don't think there's a C major 9 on my chart here because I didn't use that. These are just the chords that I used in the Now I Stand book. So C major 9, you got a C2. Let's do the C2. Second line of your song, I Wait for You, there's a C2. Here's the way I would do that. This is another one of those fingering things. I taught you a C2 like this before. Now I'm going to teach you a new one, okay? This is a different fingering for C2, like this. Everybody know an A2 down here, like this? Just move it up 3 frets as a bar chord. It's like you're playing a C chord like this, only you're opening up the B string. Now the reason for fingering this way is because it's one easy move from here to the C major 9, which is next. And that's that this C note right here has to become a B note right here. Like that. It comes to C major 9, so maybe you're still looking at me like, what is he talking about? Okay, here's the C2. Okay. The note where your pinky is, right here, it's got to go down 1 fret, so use your middle finger and do that. Lift up your pinky. There you go. Pretty chord. Hold your pinky up. It's tea time. I can't get it up that far. The rest of my fingers won't stay down. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to get you through this next chord. You could do it like, and just make it a G major 7. Oh, thank you very much. That's a minor 7. Yeah, it's a G minor 7. Okay. Okay, here we go. It's a stretch. All right, like this. Okay, so you got a bar here. It's a half bar, actually. You're only going to the A string. On the 2nd fret, you got that D note with your 2nd finger there. Now here's the stretch. You got to reach up here and get this on the 5th fret of the D string and get that G note. Pretty chord, but it hurts. I guess you should. I don't know why. You just want to partner your pain.
E string dead?
The low E string is dead. Yes. You get a B right here in the bass. Okay. Here's another thing you can do with that. For those of you that this is just like, I can't possibly ever do that in my entire life. Let's just make it a G major 7 over B. Okay, remember the cheaters, G major 7? You know, just put a B note right there. Put that F sharp note, 2nd fret, E string right there. Play 5 strings. Still a pretty chord, not just not quite as pretty. In work, though. Okay, everybody got that? This is the way I played it. Ouch. This is the way you can play it if you want to. And it works. That's a G major 7 over B, so, you know, we're conceding some here, but that's okay. It still works. It just doesn't have an A note in it. G over F is really pretty easy to play, because all you gotta do is put one finger down right here, and only play 4 strings though, okay? Don't do that to me, okay? You're gonna play the G chord right here in the middle, which is the D, G, B strings open, like that, and you're gonna put the F note on the bottom. That is the G over F over the word faithfulness, first syllable of faithfulness, 3rd line. Now, the F major 7 that I play from here, I leave this finger in place. Some of you play F major 7 up here like this. I'm leaving this finger in place, and I'm just slipping an A minor chord in there with my other 3. And that's an F major 7. It's kind of a neat transition, so everybody try that. Just grab the whole chord like this, and then grab the next one. Incidentally, that's a feature in my finger picking that you'll see a lot. I'll grab a whole chord like that. You know. See, you do the monkey grip thing, you know. Okay, C over D is another easy chord. Play 4 strings and put a finger, any finger you want. I use my 2nd finger because it's already on that note. When I've played an F major 7, I just leave it there, and I only play the top 4 strings. And that is a C over D. Okay, come. Okay. That just about covers all the tricky chords in this one, except on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th line, 2nd measure, we have an E minor over A. And I went around with what to call this, and I think that was probably the best thing to call it. It comes down from this G major 9, G major 9 over B, and then the best way to describe it to you is play an A minor 7 but leave the B string open, like that. So if you play an A minor 7 like this, just leave this finger out, and then you're going to put it back in for the A minor 7 because that's also there in the same measure. Everybody with me? you still having fun? Still love me? This is part of my ministry, stretching guitar players. By the way, let's finish this song and then I'll tell you the by the way, okay? And then you got, from here, we got that C over D again. But here, look, my first finger is in place right now because I've just played this A minor 7. So just leave it there. Before you had your second finger in place, so you left it there. So here's, a different fingering for the same chord. The reason it's good to have this first finger here this time is because you're going to a D7 from here. That finger needs to be there for a D7 chord. See how that works? Gosh, isn't it marvelous? Try that transition a couple of times. The E minor over A, to the A minor 7, to the C over D, to the D7. Once you get your first finger down for the A minor 7, don't move it for the next measure. Just leave it there. Cool, huh? Okay, that'll give you some fuel for working through the song with the tape. The by the way I was going to give you is a testimony. For like 3 years I've had this kind of vision and desire to do a guitar teaching video. And I have tried on a couple of different occasions to work out through a couple of different sources actually doing it, getting in, taping it, and the thrust of the video would be for you guys, for worship leading guitar players. And we would do kind of basically what we're doing here, only obviously in a little bit more organized kind of fashion for the video, so it wouldn't take 3 hours to get through 2 songs. Go through a half a dozen songs, teach chord fingerings, teach strumming pattern, finger picking pattern, that kind of thing. Teaching the songs, and the chords, using that as kind of a springboard for teaching the guitar technique. And then at the end of the video, after spending 10 or 15 minutes on each of like half a dozen songs, I would lead worship for half an hour with a group of people using those songs to example worship leading, as well as to give you some technical stuff to work with. And like I said, I've tried on a couple of different occasions to kind of get this thing rolling, and the doors always slam shut. And I finally just kind of said, okay, Lord, it's going to happen whenever you want it to happen, and I'm going to quit pushing for it. Well, I'm scheduled next week to go to Japan on a trip to help a church that I work with over there celebrate their 10th anniversary. I'll be doing music for them. I'll also be teaching a YWAM discipleship training school on worship while I'm there, 2.5 days of teaching for them. Well, I had talked with, on my previous trip over there, a guy with the Baptist Mission Board there who knows the folks in the church that I work with. He's in charge of all of the video stuff that the Baptist Mission Board does for our country in Japan. Everything that they do, they're teaching videos, all that happens video-wise, he's in charge of that. And they have a professional sound stage with, state-of-the-art equipment. And, well, he called Talo, my friend that I work with in Tokyo area, said, hey, isn't Duane coming over? He said, why don't we try to do that guitar video for him that he wants to do? He said, I talked with my board here. They're willing to foot all the expense for the production of the video if they can take a copy of it and dub it into Japanese, and use it for our outreach and stuff here in Japan. And Duane can take his own, English copy back home with him. And so Talo called me up, and of course I was just jumping up and down, because it's the Lord's timing. Obviously God did it. I gave it up, said, Lord, it can just die on the shelf, I guess, unless you want it to happen. And the Lord just brought it about. So keep it in prayer, because next next week. Actually, it'll be Monday and Tuesday the following week. Not this coming Monday and Tuesday, but the week away from that, that I'll be taping the video. So, praise God. And then you guys can take all this frustrating stuff home with you on a video. And freeze frame me, you know. I hate the thought of being freeze framed on your television. You know. But you'll have that option anyway. And try to figure out what my fingers are doing. But that's a real blessing for me, you know, to get to do something like that and be able to put another resource tool in the hands of any of you guys that want to take something like that home with you and have to look at my face on your television screen. So I thought I'd share that with you. Praise God, huh? Yeah. Let's do In the Presence. For the bluegrass version, really, I showed you guys a G2. Should be one on my chord chart here. Is there a G2? Help me, those of you who have eyes working. Yes. Right, fourth line, the last column is a G2. And that works fine. You can play that chord and you can play it just like it is. You don't have to do the no bass thing. But here's what I'm doing on this, just so you can kind of get an idea. I'm playing a D note in the B string here, rather than just like this. I'm playing it like that. Okay, has a little bit different sound. Hear the difference? Do you see the difference? Here's the way it is on your chord chart. Okay, I'm refingering. The notes are still the same as on your chord chart. I just changed my fingers around, and now I'm putting this ring finger in here on this D note. Okay, you can also play a C2 from this same form if you just move your ring finger over to the C bass note here, move your first finger over to the D string. So you're just closing them together. They're staying the same frets, they're just closing closer together by 2 strings. So here's the G2, and here's the C2. Real simple to play. Okay, now, here's what I'm doing with the no bass thing. I'm playing the chords like this. I'm only playing 4 strings, only strumming 4 strings. So I'm playing those same chords, I'm just not using the lower 2 notes now. And I'm doing a little thing like this. So I'm hammering, pulling off. I'll keep doing it for a second. line when I get to the word find. 'Cause in His presence I will find, strum the chord and hold it like that. So, 'cause in His presence I will find, and then walk down. There is Any questions on that one?
When did you write that?
I finished it night before last. Why?
Can you?
Because you've never heard it before, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I love that song.
You haven't heard any of the rest of these either, for that matter.
What's the timing on that last thing here?
The very last line.
Fine, yeah. the
Okay, on
fine's
five, the
down.
downbeat is C major 7. Okay, the G over B falls on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So you get the A major 7 on the downbeat again, and then you get the D major, the D over F sharp on 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or anything that you make up after I leave. It's pretty amazing to go to some of the fellowships and hear my songs. I hear a song and I go, you know, it sounds familiar. I wonder who wrote that. Then I listened to it the second time through, and I realized that it probably was me. Well, I'm not real certain at this point. So anyway, you guys use this song. And just do it pretty much right, okay? Let's go do the 6/8 song if there's no more questions on In the Presence. Are we okay with that? We're moving on to Sing to the Lord if there aren't any more questions on In the Presence. Okay. Actually, Eddie, in answer to your question, I've been working on this song for several weeks, and I just finally hammered it into shape. Eddie's not listening, so it doesn't matter. That's okay. Everybody else knows the answer now, but you don't. You'll have to ask me later. 6/8. This is the, I call this the Twilo Harris time signature. Sing to the Lord, for He is the Holy One. Sing to the Lord, our God and our King. Sing to the Lord, the righteous and mighty one. Come, let His praises ring. Gotcha. Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised. Great is the Lord. He is Alpha, Omega, beginning and end. He's worthy of praises, so let everything that has breath. Sorry, I left out the G sharp. Okay. Sing to the Lord, for He is the Holy One. Sing to the Lord, our God and our King. Sing to the Lord, the righteous and mighty one. Come, let His praises ring. Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised. Great is the Lord. He is Alpha, Omega, beginning and end. He's worthy of praises, so let everything that has breath sing to the Lord, for He is. Come, let His praises ring. And then play through the first line. Okay. Here's a Duane Clarkism that might help you in playing this song. I play a different fingering of the G chord because I can go back and forth from the D to the G without moving my ring finger here if I do this right. Just a little easier on the left hand. The rest of these chords are on my chart. E over G sharp can be a real beast. I have, I'm showing you playing it like this. Fourth line, first column. I don't play it that way, but I put it that way on my chord chart. Because it's easier to explain. Here's the way I play E over G sharp. Don't ask me why. For some reason, this chord falls off of my fingers easier than this one does. 95 times out of 100, I'll hit this one first try. I'll hit this one about 75 times out of 100 first try. So for whatever reason, this chord is the one that I play. And what it is it's my D over F sharp moved up 2 frets. And you have to put this E note in here. So if you play that, find my D over F sharp on the chord chart, and then we'll refinger it and move it up. Okay, the D over F sharp looks like this on my chord chart. Thank you. Third row, second column on the chord chart. So what you're going to do now is just refinger that chord so that your index finger is free. So put your pinky in where your ring finger is. Put your ring finger in where your second finger is. Put your second finger in over here. Ooh, there we go. And now we move all of that up 2 frets, and we gotta stretch and grab second fret D string right here. This is a Kevin Green chord. Did you run out of battery, Jim? Just started watching me. Somebody's playing with a sharp 9. I'm sorry, that's a jazz chord. It won't work here. Okay, you gotta stretch one more fret down and catch that note. Somebody's playing it like this, which has its purposes in jazz, but hardly ever in worship. That's right. Yeah. You can see, you play one of you may like it better that way, and that's your prerogative. So, E over G sharp just happens to be the way it was written. I'll never forget that. B minor over A is probably something we should deal with. Fourth line, second measure of Sing to the Lord. You got a B minor? Everybody knows a B minor. You're going to have to be able to play the kind of barred B minor to be able to pull this off. And you're just going to open up the A string. Just change the bass line. Play a B minor, and then just leave the A string open. There you got a B minor over A. So you see the bass is just walking down. Which is another feature you'll find in my playing, and particularly my songwriting, is that the bass notes kind of progress scale-wise a lot of times, okay? Here's the B minor, there's the bass, here's the B minor over A. You can follow me on the next to the last line of the music. The bass, step down a step. Here's the G, there with the bass. Here's the D over F sharp. Here's the E minor 7. Now we're gonna go back up. D over F sharp, G, E over G sharp. Okay, A7 sus. So here's what the bass is doing. Cool, huh? Alpha, Omega, beginning and end. He's worthy of praises, so let everything that has breath. Bass players love these kind of songs because they can do something besides, they get to actually play some music. Okay, any more questions on Sing to the Lord? Okay. Any questions? I think as long as we're out of here sometime soon, you guys are okay, right? Any questions generally on guitar stuff, fingering? Don't get too complicated on me, chords or whatever, or equipment, or any kind of questions like that you guys have that maybe I can take a stab at before we break away? Yes.
You always go into a direct box like that?
Well, I go through this gray thing down here is the direct box. That's what gets me into the PA system. And what that is a link between my 1/4-inch high impedance cable here and the XLR cable, which is low impedance or unbalanced and balanced. So it just gets me into the port, basically. Yeah. That's all that is. I'm using a volume pedal here, for those of you who wondered what this satanic looking thing is. And it has an output on the side of it that's designated for a tuner. And the tuner is active whether the volume is up or down. So my tuner's always there. So what I can do is turn the volume down in between songs, keep it from going to the PA system, and my tuner is still active. And I can tune the guitar and really easily bring it back up. That's really about the only reason that I use a volume pedal for the acoustic guitar. It has obvious other applications for electric guitar, but for acoustic, it just works real well for me if I need to tune in between songs. I can just turn down and not bother the people that are listening. They don't have to listen to me tune. It works really cool too in